The year 2023 was one of the most challenging in living memory to operators in all sectors of the Nigerian economy, as all economic projections and benchmark missed their targets by wide margins. The year opened with an acute scarcity of Naira notes and coincidentally ended with another round of Naira scarcity, evidently marked by the crowds of bank customers in various banking halls, especially in Lagos and other cities across the country. The political and economic tensions coupled with the backdrop of social upheavals and widespread insecurity in the land characterized the first 5 months of the past year. And then at his inauguration on May the 29th, 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, apparently pandering to the dictates of the Brentwood institution, made the now unpopular fiat, fuel subsidy is gone. The impact and ripples of this singular pronouncement has remained the proverbial last straw that broke the camel's back, as it practically threw the economy into a state of topsy-turvy as price of petrol, premium motor spirit, popularly called PMS, went through the roof, leading to the astronomical rise in goods and services, which has also fueled sharp and consistent spike in the rate of inflation. Joining me now live in our Lagos studio once again to do some analysis as we review the performance of the Nigeria's economy in the year 2023 is a personal finance expert and a stockbroker, Charles Frakuha. Thank you so much for being a part of the show again.
Thank you for having me. It's
Charles,
nice.
let's hit the nail on the head. We're getting straight to the point. Nigeria's economy in 2023, how would you rate, within a scale of 1 to 10, the performance of the nation's economy in the past year?
Well, as a former teacher, I'll give you 20%. That's 2 over 10. Yes, that's because, I mean, like what you have said in your intro, from the beginning of the year, Naira crunch, a lot of insecurity issues, election came in, both gubernatorial, presidential and gubernatorial. Then we saw all the after effect of the elections, you know. Then, of course, fuel subsidy is gone. We saw that. And from then on, up to the last day of 2023, it's just one issue or the other. Oil theft kept rising, corruption kept rising, insecurity, and like you have said, every aspect of our economy was in negative. Even the agri sector, of course, that one was also down because farmers couldn't go to their farms. Now, we had a new government. Thinking that this new government was going to really improve things, but from the way they started, it was obvious that they didn't know where they were going. He just came up with that kind of policy that has now thrown everybody off balance, and we are struggling to come back to at least understand where we are before we know where we are heading to. We don't know where we're heading to
at the moment.
At the moment, and we can see all the manifestations. And again, like you have said sometime, it's like the government itself is also kind of being opposition to itself. You will see a government minister openly doing certain things that are something that we never expected to come to the public, and we are seeing everything. How can a public official telling us that you were questioned for corruption cases, you transferred 30 billion, so you say no, the minister wanted to has moved some 3 billion to one place, I had to move this one to this place. Is it the kind of, as if we are kindergarten children? Is it the kind of stories we want to hear from public officer? And you are seeing, in fact, see the public officer telling us that you transferred funds, public funds, you transfer to a personal account for no reason. The finance has even infringed on our financial laws. So you can see that brings back to the point of financial illiteracy. Some of these government officials, or will I say illiteracy? I'll say, let's say it's like you have child abuse. This is also money abuse problem.
And it's also an abuse to our office as well.
Of course, this is money abuse. And if you look at it, it's a money disorder. Being a personal finance, we have been looking at some of these issues. Some of these public officials are suffering from money disorder, they need to look for, get help and treatment. Because I cannot imagine, you are a public official, you will transfer that amount of money to a private account.
₹500 billion naira.
What are we? If I not even just the transfer, what about the ones that have embezzled? We saw a former minister who cannot even account for monies under our care,
purview.
Our purview. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, the only thing I can see to explain it, they are all suffering from money abuse problem, which is a money disorder.
I want to also get your thought on the policies of the government. If you are to also do an holistic review or assessment of the policies of the government, what would you have to say concerning it? Because as we speak, when those policies were made, while the president was sworn into office, up to the moment as we speak now, many Nigerians are yet, like you correctly said, to gain balance from all of this. What do you have to say about this?
Well, they told us it's a government of renewed hope. Even the budgets. Let's even start from the budget, because budget is the first line of planning.
Yes.
That's for 1 year. Going through the budget and looking at some of the line items and saying, as a personal finance expert, I understand that a budget is not just figures. A budget, those figures reflect your values. And we can see, and Nigerians are already shouting and crying. You want to use certain amount of money. In fact, I will mention the states. I was the state government, because most of the time we miss it out. We're only attacking or criticizing the federal government. What about the subnationals?
No one is paying attention to them.
Now, a state governor, we're being told from the budget, we're going to spend almost about 2 billion to rechargeable funds. And I'm beginning to ask myself, that figure there represents a value. That is the value of that particular governor. Because if you understand what a budget is, and these resources are under your care to kind of develop and assist or improve the quality of life of people within that geographical area you are governing, you will know that 2 billion to recharge for rechargeable fund and some issues.
Irrelevant issues.
It does not really
matter.
We are looking at the priority. We cannot even prioritize. We are moving as if nothing is at stake, with a public debt of over 87 trillion naira, and you are giving us a budget of almost 28 point something trillion
naira,
and we are just going to get about 9 trillion. The rest is going to be funded by borrowing, and yet you want to use over 15 billion to do one kind of renovation. So it goes to show, those figures goes to show the values of these our elected officials. Now, that is for elected officials. Now, coming to the National Assembly, it is still that last year. In fact, I saw a video of a particular village under a senatorial district where that same senator, obviously, has collected 160 million to buy a car. Now, in that village, the two connecting village, they use wooden to construct a bridge. And a young lady who had gone to farm, with her proceed, tried to cross that bridge. She fell inside that maybe river or pond or whatever, I don't know. And that is a senator representing that district and has collected 160 million.
You know, if we are
to construct that bridge there,
Charles,
will not be more than 50 million.
If we are to deviate a little from our conversation we're having here and talk about politics, it still begs the question as to why we don't have strong institutions that will make us hold our public office holder accountable and bring them to justice when they fail to.
Okay, good.
The likes of Serap, they are just talking and talking, but we have seen it's like they are just a toothless bulldog who can only bark but can't bite.
No, but you see, Serap for me is one of the opposition we can see. Opposition has gone, just like fuel subsidy has gone. Opposition, in fact, it's a deliberate attempt by this government to ensure that opposition, there is nothing like opposition. Because if today, the 27 members of House of Assembly in a particular state, they decide to decamp to another party, is there any opposition? When you crisscross, what right is Labour Party, what right is APC, what right is PDP, they are all the same. Labour Party, no, they are all the same. So there is no opposition. And that is why the government is going as if we don't have any control.